Indexing OLAP data, bitmap index and join index. These are some of the indexing methods to facilitate efficient data accessing. And most data warehouse systems support index structures and materialized views like using cuboids. So general methods to select the cuboids for materialization we have discussed already. So let's see how to index this OLAP online accessing. Okay, data by bitmap indexing and join indexing. How to index OLAP online analytical processing data by bitmap indexing and join indexing. So what is bitmap indexing? So as we have seen in the earlier example, like all electronics, whatever we have been discussing, which is the example which is usually which is taken here for discussing different topics. The all electronics data warehouse will suppose this dimension item at the top level has 4 values like home entertainment, computer, phone, and security. Each value will be represented. So we have just noticed if each value will be stored is represented by a bit vector in the item bitmap index table. So how do you use this bitmap? The bitmap indexing methods is popular in OLAP because it allows quick searching in the data cubes. So the bitmap index, it's an alternative representation of the record ID, RID, that is record ID. In this, for a given attribute, there is a distinct bit vector BV for each value V in the attributes domain. So if it is set to 1, it means that that particular product has been corresponding, if at all, if there is any, if we take this, if a given attributes domain consists of n values, then n bits will be needed for each entry in the bitmap index because we have n values for a given set of attributes. If the attribute has a value V for a given row in the data table, then the bit representing that value is set to 1 in the corresponding row of the bitmap index. Otherwise, all that bit will be set to 0. So as an example, if we will take this. So here, if we will notice this, we have record ID and different regions. If it is indexed on region, how the bitmap indexing table looks like. If you will observe here, the region, what are the different types of region we have? We have Asia, Europe and America as 3 different regions. Hence, we have just recorded that here, Asia, Europe and America. So we are indexing on a particular column here. So that column is nothing, the region. Here, from the base table, we have selected one particular column and we have indexed on that particular column. And each value in that column has a bit vector, bit operator, and this is fast. So if we will check here, if we will see the region Asia 1, in this row it is set to 1. Europe and America is not there. If either of them is set, other two will be 0, isn't it? Europe. So in this row, Europe will be set to 1. Again Asia, then America, and then Europe. So the ith bit is set, this ith bit will be set if the ith row of the base table has the value for the indexed column. So if this is the indexed column, Asia, and if this row has a value for that, then that bit will be set to 1. Hence, in this case, Asia is 1 as it contains that value. Europe here, Asia here, America here, and Europe here. Okay. So this, again, if we will take how it is indexed based on type. If this is a column which is used for indexing, we are indexing on this type column. In this case, see here we have two types here, retailer and dealer, that we have noted down here, retailer and dealer, and these are the record numbers we have. So first record, retail, so we will set it to 1. Second record, the type is dealer, that particular bit will be set to 1. Asia here, so in this, okay, is a dealer, so the bit is set to 1. The retail here, fourth record, retail, yes, it is set to 1. Fifth type of record is dealer, so that bit is set to 1. So ith bit is set if the ith row of the base table has the value for the indexed column. It is not suitable for high cardinality domains because it results in more number of tables. A recent bit compression technique, which is called as word aligned hybrid, makes it work for high cardinality domain as well. So as it is not suitable for high cardinality domains, this new technique, a recent compression technique, which is word aligned hybrid, can be used in order to take care of this high cardinality domain. This is again one more example on all electronics. If you will just take that as an example. We have this all electronic house. Here, these are the records we have, and these are the items, and these are the cities it belongs. So we have H stands for year, H stands for home entertainment, C for computer, P for phone, and S for security. Likewise, V for Monk City, V for Vancouver City, and T for Toronto. So if it is indexed on item, if you will check here, so what are the different items we have? HCPS we have noted down here. If we are indexing on the second column, that is item, so the first, it has 1 because it belongs to, item belongs to H. That particular column the bit will be set to 1. Likewise for C, P, yes, again H, C, P, yes. If it is indexed on city, we have 2 types of cities here, Vancouver and Toronto. We have just listed down as a header for the columns, and whichever record belongs to that particular city, that will be set to 1. If we will notice here, R1, R2, R3, R4 all belong to the Vancouver city, so it is set to 1. And the remaining 5, 6, 7, 8 records will belong to this Toronto. So this is how the bitmap index table, but it works only for low cardinality domains. So for high cardinality, we have a different compression technique, which is WAH, word aligned hybrid. Again, this is one more example for the same thing. If we will just, we have a table here, and we have to select the rows where survey, from survey, this is the table survey, where gender equal to male and marital status equal to single, and he should be a homeowner. So if we will observe this table, so what is the result of this table? According to this query, it should select a row wherein the gender is male. Okay, let's check this. Gender is male. And marital status is single? No. So this is not selected. Second one, male. Okay, marital status is single, and homeowner is white. So this record is selected. If we will move further, M single, but the marital status homeowner is no. So the only record which is selected from this query will be the second one, married, single, and he is also a homeowner. So this is one more example where marital status and homeowner equal to Y. So how it is, just by constructing the bitmap for this table, they have just solved this query. Okay, so they have just first categorized based on the gender, where we have male and female, and corresponding records are marked as 1 if the record is there, otherwise 0. Marital status, we have married, single, and divorced. And if we will observe this, homeowner is one more thing what we have to check, homeowner. So here again we have 2 status, Y and yes, and perform the operation. It should be male and marital status, and homeowner is Y. So if we will check this, so the only record which is satisfying, that will be the second record. Okay. So indexing OLAP data by using join indices now. So till now we discussed bitmap. Now we are moving on to join indices. So join indexing, here star schema is defined for all electronics. of the firm, we have sales star. So how this join indexing is related? Traditional indices map the value to a list of record IDs. It materializes relational join in file and speeds up relational join. In data warehouses, join index relates the value of the dimensions of a star schema to rows in the fact table. So what it does, join index relates the values of the dimensions of a star schema to of a to rows in the fact table. So if we will take, this is considered as a fact table, and two dimensions are city and product. So a join index on city maintains for each distinct city a list of records of the tuples recording the sales in the city, and join indices can span multiple dimensions. So this join can also span multiple dimensions, so using which you can just take the values. So how do we efficiently process these OLAP operations? The purpose of materializing these cuboids and constructing OLAP index structure is to speed up the query processing in data cubes, isn't it? So what do we do? We determine which operation should be performed on the available cuboids. Like like we have drill, roll, etc. into corresponding SQL, or OLAP operations like dice is equal to selection press plus projection. Whether we can perform selection operation, projection, roll up, drill down operations specified in the query. For example, slicing, dicing a data cube where it corresponds to selection of projection operation on a materialized cuboid. So this is one more example. Determine which materialized cuboid should be selected for OLAP operation. So we have a query to be processed on brand, province or state with the condition year being 2004, and there are 4 materialized cuboids available for these 4. So we should find out which should be selected to process the query. Okay, explore indexing structures in compressed versus dense. Okay. So if we will observe this, which of these 4 cuboids we have to just find out that which of these 4 cuboids should be selected to process the query. Final, if we will just finer granularity data cannot be generated from coarser granularity data. Therefore, cuboid 2, see if we will check here, this cuboid 2 cannot be used because country is more journal concept than province or state, because we need province or state here, whereas country is more general, so this we cannot consider. When it comes to cuboid 1, 3 and 4, they can be used to process the query. That's because this one have the same set, or it's the superset of the dimensions in the query 2, and the selection clause in this query can imply the selection in the cuboid, and 3, the abstraction levels of the item and location dimension in this cuboids are select cuboid 1. It is likely that because both item name and city are at a lower level than the brand and province, we cannot choose that. And if there are not many year values associated with the items in the cube, but there are several item names for each brand, then cuboid 3 will be smaller than cuboid 4, and thus cuboid 3 should be chosen here in this case to process the query, isn't it? We have year, brand and province or state. So we can just here cuboid 3 will process it, is the one which will be available for us to process the query, because cuboid 1 would cost the most and cuboid 2 also will not satisfy our this thing because it is more common. Like we have country high, we have fine granularity. So uh, query 3 would be the one, or cuboid 3 would be the one which we will which can just satisfy our request or process the query. Okay. So the different OLAP server architecture are relational OLAP, multidimensional OLAP, and hybrid OLAP, where in relational we use there are many intermediate servers that stand in between a relational backend server and client front-end tools. And they also use relational extended DBMS to store and manage the warehouse data. And OLAP middleware is there to support missing pieces. And it includes optimization for each DBMS backend, implementation of aggregation and navigation logic, and other things. So it tends to have greater scalability than MOLAP technology, that is multidimensional servers. When it comes to multidimensional, they support multidimensional data views through array-based multidimensional storage engines. The advantage of using this is that it allows faster indexing to pre-computed summarized data. But multidimensional data stores, the storage utilization may be low if the data set is sparse. In such cases, as you all know, we should use sparse matrix technique. OLAP servers adopt a two-level storage representation to handle dense and sparse data sets because we have dense as well as sparse. So they maintain two set of data storage representation. Denser subcubes are identified and stored as array structures, whereas sparse you can also always store them, compress them for efficient storage utilization. Again, we have a hybrid OLAP which combines both it takes the benefits from both ROLAP and faster computation benefit of faster computation from MOLAP and combines, so hybrid. It allows large volumes of detailed data to be stored in RDBMS while aggregations are kept in a separate MOLAP. And an example could be Microsoft SQL Server, which supports a hybrid OLAP server. Also have specialized SQL servers in order to meet the growing demands of OLAP. Even these have advanced query language, and processing support will be more. And query processing support for SQL queries over star and Snowflake schemas is a read-only environment. So we have ROLAP, MOLAP, hybrid and specialized SQL.